Welcome to Mando and Friends, Season 3, presented by Verizon. My name is Mando Fresco, and I am here with the incredible, the talented, uber talented actress, host.
Yeah, I guess.
Doing it big. Jessica Marie Garcia, how are you?
I'm doing great.
I'm so happy you're here.
I'm so happy to be here. Season 3, that's huge. Congratulations.
We're doing it. I mean, Season 3, we got to do it big. So we had to, bring you and
get me. I'm sorry.
To sit on that.
whoever canceled last minute, I'm here. Thank you. Appreciate it.
We had to have you sit on that chair, and do it right, for Season 3. Thank you. So, Jess, I want to talk about your journey up until this point. You've been hustling for a bit, and I feel like at this point, you have seen the ins and outs of the industry, and hopefully, not hopefully, I know that people will see and look at your story and be inspired by it, by what I know, and I'm sure I'm going to learn more today.
Oh man.
I'm
How much time you got?
I'm very inspired already. So I wanna take it back. People know you, for playing different characters, for different hit shows. Before you fell in love with acting, before the arts came into play, what's your first memory of that?
Of falling in love with the arts?
Yeah.
Oh, it started super young. Like I always tell people, I feel like I was birthed saying a monologue. I'm an only child, so I just love being the center of attention. And I also grew up with a single mom who worked all the time. So the TV was my babysitter. So I fell in love with so many shows. But the thing is I never saw Latinos on TV unless it was one of my mom's telenovelas. And I was I don't speak Spanish. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they're saying. So as much as I wanted to do this, I didn't know it was possible. But I was still putting on little plays for my stuffed animals and for my mom and my family. I always just loved this. And when the internet happened, I would take scripts offline and make my own character in them.
Wow.
And it really wasn't until, there was two moments. I saw Funny Girl. And I fell in love with that movie so hardcore. I saw Barbra Streisand, and she was this this unconventional beauty who just demanded so much attention and had all this talent. And I was like, oh my God, I want to do that. But I was like, I'm Latina. I don't know if that's in the cards for me.
Man.
And then I saw John Leguizamo in Freak.
Yep.
And I was like, wait, what? He's telling stories that I understood. That was the first time I was like, wait, there are other people that know about, getting a chocolate to the face. That's not just me.
Yeah.
So I saw that and I was like, I want that. And that really made me want to look into a high school that had a performing arts magnet in it in Orlando. And I auditioned, even though I didn't know what a monologue was.
Wow.
I remember getting made fun of and yelled at so hardcore because I was on stage pretending to be on the phone and I was like this. And that's a no. You hold the phone like this? And I was like, no, you don't. I don't know. So that's how it started for me. But it was just a love for TV and film.
That is interesting because at what age are you at that point?
When I started high school.
In high school.
Well, I think I really fell in love with it when I was about 8 years old.
And when you start looking into that magnet school, how old
I was
were you
12.
At
yeah.
12.
I was writing my own parts at 12.
And was there interest for other than acting?
I think
was there singing? Was there
singing? Absolutely. But I found out early on I'm not great at it. My mom would hype me up and be like, oh my God, you're so good. And I did chorus and everything. And I keep getting told by actual singers that I have a really good tone, but I just don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm sharp, I'm flat, I'm all over the place. But I'm like, it's good, right? And then I listen back and I'm like, oh no. Maybe the triple threat is not my future.
Let's stick to it.
I'll stick to acting. It's not good. But writing, I think that from getting the stories offline and putting my own spin on them, it really gave me the bug to want to write as well.
At what point are you starting to audition?
Professionally?
Yeah.
Oh, not till I came out here.
Oh, really?
No, not until I was 19. Yeah. And it was I'm going to get it right away. And it was no, I think I got 100 no's before I got a maybe.
When you moved from
Florida.
Orlando to Los Angeles, what do you tell your family Or did they know it was coming?
They knew it was coming. I had a friend at the time who had gotten a manager in Florida that like kept pushing us to audition for a competition called Best New Talent. I don't even know if it is in existence anymore, but you would audition for all these agents and all these managers and all these casting people. And at 16, I came here and did it, and I got nothing but no's. Everyone said no. And there was one agent that was like interested, and that was the first agent I ever had, but they were out here. So I went right after high school, I came here and I started waiting tables and I was getting auditions, but I didn't know what the hell I was doing, honestly. And it took, I think, a solid year before I really started getting callbacks.
Yeah.
And then after that, it took like another year before I got anything.
Just at that age, you're so young still, at like 16 years old.
Yeah.
16 through, you said like 19,
Yeah.
around that time, to get no's. How was that for you? At what point do you realize, all right, well, I'm going to get a lot of no's. Let me just brush it off.
Well, I was really lucky because the magnet program I was a part of, you were still a small fish in a big pond. It was a very competitive program. Joey Fatone came out of there. Wayne Brady came out of there. Like people that really understood, like that ended up doing this for a living.
Yeah.
So it was really competitive, and I got no's all throughout high school. I didn't get in any of the major productions, which was really disheartening because I felt like I was really coming to my own as far as my craft. And she told us, our director told us from the very beginning, like, you're going to learn about rejection and you're going to thank me later. And at the time I was like devastated, but it helped me coming here. But again, like my mom instilled this like never ending confidence in me.
Wow. That's
and she
beautiful.
was always like, you know, no one's better than you and you're not better than anybody else. And there's always going to be somebody prettier than you, funnier than you, more talented than you. You have to find out what's about you that makes you different and bank on that. And when I came out here and I was getting a bunch of no's, even at my like darkest moments, there was still a part of me that was like, nah, girl, you can do this.
Yeah.
You can do this. Like, keep going. And I read something, I think it was Harrison Ford, that said that the only reason he got a break is because he stood in line long enough. And I always have that in my head. Like people come in droves to LA to, you know, do this.
Yep.
And then within a year, they're back home.
Yeah.
And I just refused to be one of those. Like, I was like, I'm going to make this work for me. And if I have to, you know, make my own table to make room for myself, I'll do it.
Yep. Yeah. Let's talk about having your own table. Because I feel like, you know, now in 2022.
Is that what you were in? Jesus.
Yeah, right? Where the last 2 years go.
Right.
How important do you think that is for us, you know, being Latinos, to also create our own table? And have create our own platforms, our own opportunities.
It's imperative because nobody's doing it for us. And when we have it done for us, it's done incorrectly. And I think that that's why so many of our shows get canceled, is because the first round of them were from people that thought they knew who we were, and we were just walking stereotypes. And it's so tough because the shows that we have now, we'll get like 2 or 3 Latino shows at a time, and then they cancel them right after another. Yeah. I know, because I've been in them.
Yeah.
But I think the ones that we have now are so great, and like Gordita Chronicles, like that show I think is so beautiful and so real, because like I was a little gordita, like I still am, but that's fine. But like, you know what I mean? Like I grew up like that, so I know exactly where it's coming from. So I think that when you get shows that have the representation behind the camera as well as in front of the camera, it really shows. But I think the most important thing for us is we got to turn out for each other.
Yeah.
You know, we have to support our shows. And I think what happens is, we're not a monolith, right? So we all have different stories to tell, and we all come from different experiences. But when we don't see our exact experience on the TV, we don't watch it. We're okay watching all these white shows and not, you know, relating to them at all. That's fine.
Right.
But if it's show's supposed to be for us and we don't relate, F it, it's not for us.
Yeah.
And it sucks because like it's still somebody's experience. We should still be supporting each other, because if we don't, we're not going to get the opportunity to make more shows that are maybe like your experience.
Right.
Or write your experience.
Yeah.
You know, like we just need more voices.
I feel like there's a lot of Latino stories, and like you said, there's you know, Mexican, Dominican, and Puerto Rican, and you know, I can go on. And you're right. I think if it's not a direct correlation, it's like, well,
that's not how I grew up.
But there's so many so many parallels.
Yeah.
Like maybe the accent's a little different, you know, but it's the same story.
Yeah.
Ultimately.
It's the same family. It's the same values. And it's weird too, because I feel like when you're in predominantly white spaces and you see another Latino, it doesn't matter where they're from. You're like, oh my God, hermano, like you get it. And it's like, why can't we do that when it comes to supporting us on screen?
Yeah. Yeah. Do you feel like things are changing in some way?
Yeah, slowly.
Yeah.
But I think it is. I think as we like allow us to expand and have more opportunities, it's less vicious. You know, I think that when you can have two Latinos on a show instead of one, especially in the industry when it comes to like acting, we're not competing as much. And we don't want to.
Yeah.
Like we want to support each other and have like, you know, all this representation. We don't want to like fight tooth and nail for that one part.
Yeah.
Because like I've been there and it sucks.
Hey, Mando here. Right now, you deserve the network more people rely on. That's why Verizon is introducing Welcome Unlimited for just $30 per line per month with 4 lines and autopay, plus taxes and fees. Their best price unlimited plan ever.
Did you say $30?
Yep, $30 a line per month for the whole familia. Pretty cool, right? Wait, where are you guys going? Guys? The network you want, the price you love. Switch to Verizon. Visit verizon.com/Mando today. Guys, can someone turn the camera off now?
Do you think as Latinos we do a pretty good job at supporting one another, or do you think we can do a little better?
I think we could do better.
Yeah.
I think that there's always room for improvement. I think that we're really good at hyping each other up, like together, like in your face.
Yeah.
But I think when it comes to like really sitting down and like supporting each other, like watching those shows or listening to the music, it's not as there. I think
Yeah.
music wise, actually, it's a lot better. But television wise and film wise, I think it's a little tougher.
I think with music it's just a little more organic to collaborate, you know, to hey, come on, be on my song,
Yeah.
produce I'm producing this song, be on it, that type of thing, remixes and all that. It kind of allows for more collaboration.
I think it's cooler. I think it's like right now, like, you know, reggaeton or like, you know, listening to Bad Bunny or anything like that. Like that's super cool and in. I don't feel like our shows are in, you know, like I feel like we need to really tap into that young audience that like, you know, maybe that first and second generation Latinos that are like, hi, we're right here.
Yeah.
You know, we need more shows about us, and actually more shows that are just about us and not necessarily that Latino or that's it. Like it just needs to be authentically who we are.
Yeah.
And we are Latino. And that's of course going to change our story a bit.
Yeah, I think what's amazing about what you in particularly do is you are a Latina in a space where it's not necessarily a Latino show. You know, and I think, like you said, we need more of that. We need more, you know, if we have, you know, a Stranger Things, like let's put some of us in there,
Yeah.
you know?
Big up to Eugene.
Yeah. You know,
So Latino in Hawkins.
yeah, right? Yeah, shout out to him.
Right.
I love his role in it. He's hilarious.
So
I think we need to be in more of those, you know, type of shows, and instead of just being a token Latino. But you know, you represent us very well, and I think it's a beautiful thing.
Oh, thank you.
How do you think about that when you're on set, when you're on camera?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think about it, and it also like freaks me out that I'm like, am I ever going to be enough? I think that's what it really is. I feel like I'm not American enough and I'm not Latino enough. And that's the tough, and I think so many of us fall in that and feel that way because I'm not fluent in Spanish. Please don't throw anything at me. But I'm not.
Entonces, dime por qué.
Ay, Dios mío. Entiendo.
Do you feel like you're not, you know, American enough, or you're not Mexican enough, I mean, or Latina enough? Or do you feel like that's the perception?
I think that's a really good question. I think it is the perception because behind closed doors, I feel enough of everything. I'm me. If I don't know why I have to fit into any of these boxes, like I'm living my life organically. Why isn't that enough?
Yeah.
You know, I feel like, you know, my mom's Cuban and she left Cuba at a young age and her family wanted us to have, you know, a better life. This is my better life. Why isn't that enough? Why does that make me less of anything?
Yeah. One of my favorite lines that I ever heard someone say was from Becky G. She was on her show.
Okay. I love Becky G though. Yeah.
Becky G said, because, you know, sometimes we say we're 50% American, 50%. She says, I'm 200%. She said, I'm 100% American and I'm 100% Mexican. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Because we're American, 100%, you know, and we're Latino too, 100%. So I think it is tough though. I think more so it is the perception. I mean, even in the Latino community. I mean, I guess
they're the toughest.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they're the toughest. Yeah.
I mean, it's like you're just. I speak fluent Spanish.
Do you want a prize? I'm so happy
yo hablo
for
español
you.
Muy bien.
Ay, Dios mío. Wrap it up.
I speak fluent Spanish, but I'm saying that only because, you know, that doesn't make me more Latino. It doesn't
Thank
make me
you.
more,
Did you hear that?
Make me more Mexican. It doesn't, just because I go to certain places where I don't feel as, and it's not because I speaking the language doesn't make me any more or any less, you know?
Yeah.
They're just certain what's the word? Certain spaces where it's just not me. You know, I can go and hang out with certain family members that are into a different type of music genre, a different type of like circle, and I just don't feel as connected, you know? And but that doesn't make me any less Latino, you know?
But don't get me wrong, like I think it's so beautiful to speak the language and I want to learn more. But I think what happens is when I grew up, my parents would speak to me, my mom would speak to me in Spanish. I would always answer in English. So that's why I understand everything. But when I go to speak it, I'm so hesitant because like she'll be the first one to laugh at what I said. Like, what'd you say? Say it again. Did you hear? Say it again. What you said? How'd you say it? And it's like, it makes me so nervous.
Yeah.
And even on my block, like I would, like Julio was so big on like, I'll teach you, like just talk with me every day. It'll be fine. And then I would go do it. And like Jason would be like, what did you say? Did you hear what she said? It's like, we're so shitty to each other in such a good way, way. But like, it's sometimes you're like, oh, I can't. So I just kind of like roll into a ball and I'm like, I shouldn't even try.
What's interesting too, and you know, again, I can't even speak English right now.
It's very good. I understand it. I'm just kidding. That's such like a rude thing to say. Your English is really good. You're doing a great job. I almost can't tell you're brown.
Exactly. Thank you.
It's really good.
I appreciate that. You know, I was going to say my Spanish. I lost my train of thought.
Sorry. I have that effect on some men. It's like.
But yes, Jess. No, I think that. You know, Latinidad is not based on the language, right? Mm-hmm. We are who we are. Shout out to Kesha.
I was like, she's Latina?
We are who we are. Sorry, DJing and all that.
No, I love it.
My brain works like that, you know? Do you feel like you need to carry yourself differently, maybe even like code switch when you're not around Latinos?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I feel like I do it when I'm around Latinos as well. Because I'm like, oh, maybe if I throw in like a mira or like a pero, like I'll feel more like they think I belong here. And I think that's also because I represent a small group of Latinas that are working in this industry. And if I don't live up to their expectations, like I can't tell you how many people have come up to me and like their moms and their grandmothers come up to me and they're speaking to me in Spanish. And when I go to answer them in English, the disappointment on their face. And I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, it feels like such a gut punch. So I feel like I've had to code switch, but on both sides. But I think that is, again, a perception of myself that I have to kind of get over.
Yeah. Tell me about working on my block. You were around, you know, many creatives that are are killing it, and I know
Yeah.
that was a big platform for a lot of the talent on that
Yeah.
show. A lot of Latinos were a part of that show, and you guys are blowing up, man. How was it to work on that show?
It was such a journey. I have to say, like, we were like the little show that could. Even after like 4 years of the show, we were still like on the super cheap end of making the show. So it wasn't like we were given all these amenities because we were hit. And I think that those were little things that we realized we weren't as good as like another like white show, because we were still like only given so much. So as much as like people were like, oh my God, you guys are a hit, we're all like scrapping to like, can we afford a stylist? Can we afford hair and makeup for this event? Can we get invited to these things? Like, we were still reminded very often that we were a little show that just a lot of people loved and enjoyed. So I think the biggest thing I got from the show, besides this family that I will always have with this cast and with a lot of the crew, was our fans. Because if it wasn't for them, we would have never had a season 2, ever. We were the little show that like, oh, well, we'll see what this one does. And it blew up. We were the #1 binge show of 2018.
Wow.
Nobody saw that coming. But the only reason that was is because people talked about it.
Yeah.
And that's what we're so thankful for. Like, I'm sitting here today because people watched it. And that was like, I will always be thankful. That's why I will take every picture. I will sign everything, because like I owe everything to them.
That is such a special show. What do you think it made it so unique to? Because I feel like it transcended the Latino audience.
Absolutely. Because it was a YA show. I think that we don't get a lot of young adult shows for Latinos. And I think it wasn't just a Latino show. It was a brown and black show. And that's what I think was so important, because we don't have a lot of shows where we're together.
Yeah.
We're the other, right?
Yeah.
So we either get this, or it's a white family with a brown friend, or it's a white family with a black friend. We don't typically get a whole show with all of us. And that meant a lot to us. And like Sierra, she's playing an Afro-Latina. Yeah. And I think that's a whole other topic, especially talking about Latinidad, is like we don't support and celebrate our Afro-Latinos as much. It's either like, oh no, they're black, they're not part of us.
Right.
And I think that's so messed up. So I think that hopefully that's changing as well, our idea of what a Latino is supposed to look like, because I get to look like this, right?
Yes.
So my auditions, I'm Latina. When I have so many Afro-Latino friends that don't get to go out, that speak perfect Spanish, that don't get to go out for the same auditions as me, because they're like, oh no, you're black.
Right.
And that's not fair.
Right.
So I think that that's something that's so special about On My Block, is they showed many more colors to who we are.
Yeah, I think there was also it helped with the stereotypes.
Yeah.
Of kind of crushing some of the stereotypes, and not just like pinning every show, every joke just on that.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think especially because we've gotten told like, well, Jasmine specifically could have been a stereotype. But I was so big on, like, I was a class clown. So I know that class clown goes home and has the hardest time.
Yeah.
Comedy stems from drama. I thoroughly believe that. And when you are using that kind of like comedy to mask what you're really going through, I get that. And I knew that that's what was happening with Jasmine.
Yeah.
So in season 2, when they allowed you to go home with her and see that her father, was a vet in Afghanistan and is going through so much and is pretty much catatonic, like you could see like, oh, maybe she's not just a punching bag. Maybe she's saying the joke before she is the joke. Mm-hmm. And that I related to so much. And with the gang part of our show, what I think was so great about our show is you get to see where they're coming from. Yeah. You get to see how a kid gets put into those positions. Yeah. They're not just a statistic, or they're not just like a group of bad guys. You see, this was a good kid, a smart kid who had all this potential, but who couldn't get out of it. Mm-hmm. And I feel like we don't get an opportunity to share that, because stereotypes do come from somewhere, right? Yeah. But if you humanize them, that changes the narrative.
For sure. What would you say is your favorite season
of On My Block?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I would say season 1, just because of that cliffhanger at the end, but season 2.
Yeah.
Because I got to play more. I was a little bit in there more in season 2. I would say season 2 was my favorite, because I got to spend more time with the whole cast. The only thing I would say is I wish I got to spend more time with Spooky, like Julio's character, because we're so close in real life. And we got to see him from afar, and he was always like Spooky. So I was like, oh, okay. I'll just.
He was always in character?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
Because he's very different than Spooky. He is like a California surfing, like cool, laid back guy who's always singing with his acoustic guitar, whether you want him to or not.
Yeah.
Like that is Julio. So playing Spooky is a very different character for him. And he takes it very seriously. So he's like, you know, pumping himself up. Like he's, you know, getting angry. You see that eyebrow raise and you go, okay, I'm going to leave him alone for a little while.
Wow.
Yeah.
And Spooky became a fan favorite.
Oh yeah, well because he's fine. Let's get real. But it's so funny. It's so funny how like people literally go crazy for him, but they don't recognize him with hair. So it's like they'll see us and they're like, "Oh my God, Jasmine! Oh my God, Ruby!" And then they're like, "Who are you?" Like it takes a hot second for them to realize it's him. It's so funny.
I remember seeing I don't know if it was a meme or something like that. And they showed, and they were like, "This is how Spooky looks now," and it, you know, he had grown his hair out and all that, and the comments were like blowing up, like, "What?"
Yeah, or him and Selena with the what is it? With the long hair in the back, the party in the front, or whatever.
Yeah. Like a mullet.
Mullet. Yeah, that long mullet. It's so funny. Like every job he gets, he's got to have like ridiculous hair. I don't know what it is.
What would you say is the biggest lesson that you learned on that set of On My Block?
The biggest lesson, I think it was to stand up for myself and to speak when something is happening. I think for the longest time when I was on set, I was just so grateful, which I think is a lot of like Latinos in general. It's always like, don't make any waves. We're just happy to be here. Like, you know, just work hard and that's it. And I did that for a long time. And because I think there was one time there was a joke that I thought could be interpreted a way that I didn't want it to be. And I kind of put my foot down and was like, I'm not going to say this.
Nice.
And I thought I was going to be met with like a lot of like problems or what. And they were very open and were like, oh yeah, like we can change that. I think old Jess would have maybe just said it. And I would have been so regretful. I didn't think it was something that Jasmine would do or say. So I was really happy with myself that I stood up for myself because I was like, you know what? I've been in this industry for a hot minute.
Yeah.
I deserve an opinion.
Yeah.
And I'm going to take it. And then I was still like, is that okay? But was that all right?
Yeah.
So I was proud of myself and I continue to do that.
And do you feel like that growth happened within the span of that show?
Yes. And also when I was on Betch, I was on an all-girl sketch group. And we did like Hulu and Amazon. Like we were on a few things and it was so creatively open that I was able to like pitch my own jokes and like say my own things. And I wrote my own sketch. And in that, I kind of felt this like power. And I was like, I'm good at this. Like my opinion does matter, especially if it's like my face that's saying whatever it is or doing anything. I mean, season 1, I peed in a damn sink. Like, come on. I think I've gained some kind of like, I have an opinion. And I think that really helped me to even not only to just say whatever I'm feeling, but also make choices. I think that before that I was like, oh, I mean, I could do this as an actor, but maybe I'll just stick to the script. And now with Jasmine too, I went into that audition and I said what was on the page, but I kind of said what I wanted.
Yeah.
I added my own little flavor because now when I go into roles, I'm like, yes, you want this person, but I'm going to show you how I'm going to play this person.
Yeah. And
I used to be scared of that. And now I embrace it.
What do you remember of that audition?
Oh my, that it was so fun. I live to make people laugh. It's my favorite thing in the world. It's my love language. So when I was in that audition and I saw the casting director laugh, I just like keep going.
Yeah. Like
I just live for it. So I'd throw my own things. I'd throw my own lines in there and they loved it. Thank God. Cause some people are like really sticklers onto what they wrote on the page and I can do that too. Yeah. But let me show you what I would bring to it and not just some other person, Yeah.
What would you say is the most challenging part of your career?
Ooh, well, as far as challenging goes, I definitely think the rejection is not something you ever get used to.
Yeah.
especially when you love a character and like you get an audition and you read it and you love it, and then you get a call back, and then you go back and you audition again, and then you go to studio and you audition again. You really almost form a relationship with this character, and then it breaks up with you, and then you're never supposed to think about it again. And then you want to watch it, right? And then they put it on billboards and you're like, great, I'm really excited to watch this. I typically, little tidbit, don't watch anything I auditioned for and didn't get. I typically don't.
Typically, but you have.
I have, especially if like one of my friends gets it, then
Yeah.
then of course I would rather it go to them.
Yeah.
And then I'll support that. But like a lot of times I don't. Like Father of the Bride. I went far in Father of the Bride and then didn't get it, and I was like, but I'm still gonna watch this freaking movie because I gotta support my Latinos. And then I was like, why did I really like this movie? I shouldn't have really liked it. But like, yeah, no, I get petty. I get petty about it because you fall in love with these characters and you like get so excited to play them, and then they just take them away from you. So that's really hard. And then I think trying to have longevity in this industry is so hard, especially as a Latina, especially as a woman, and getting older. I mean, I will forever be 17.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy because like you'll get a job. Like I can never get a job after On My Block, and then what happens? Just like the cast of Liv and Maddie, like they were so talented that I was so nervous that they're gonna go all and do all these incredible things, and I'm just gonna be like that Miss Mojo video where they're like, "What actors from Disney didn't work afterwards?" Like, you know, I was like, I'm gonna be on some YouTube compilation.
Where are they now?
Exactly, and they're like, "She's still at home." Like, so that was something that was always in the back of my head. So longevity is really hard in this industry, and you really kind of have to wear multiple hats in order to stay, you know, working. Yeah. So that was another thing that terrified me. And even after On My Block, I was like, is anyone going to care to hire me again? So the fact that people do is a miracle, because the percentage of working actors in this industry is very, very small.
I wouldn't say miracle, because you put in the work and you're very talented.
Thank you. But even in that, I mean, I appreciate that more than anything. And I hope we got that soundbite so I can replay it whenever I'm not feeling.
You got that? Perfect.
Just, you know, when I'm feeling down, I need to rehear that.
Checks in the mail.
Thank you.
I hope.
Get the right address. But it's tough because there are so many incredible actors out there that will never get the opportunity that I have. So I just try not to squander it.
Do you feel like that's just something that comes with the territory of acting? Like for most actors, is that like, where is my next gig coming from?
Oh yeah, especially when you've gotten so many no's. Like I was waiting tables for the first 3 seasons of Liv and Maddie because I was a guest star. They could call me this week, they might not never call me again. So I needed to make sure that I had a job. And I would like deliver burgers and like take a picture with your kids. Like that was just kind of what I did.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, there's just no shame in having a job and making a paycheck, regardless of what that is. Like this is real life. I'm not trying to be like I'm too cool for school to wait tables, because that's not the case. So I think it's true for many actors. I think it's just hard because once you've made a name for yourself, getting a normal everyday job, people look down on that and like, oh, you didn't succeed. And it's like, no, I needed to eat. And it's not like you get a job and all of a sudden you're a millionaire. That's not how it works at all.
I think that's the perception of what many people think about entertainment is you are in entertainment, you have a lot of money.
Yep. No.
You're rich.
No.
You're on the big screen.
This is ASOS. Okay? No.
Well, it looks like Armani.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. It could be. It's not. It's ASOS. But that's also, it's like people don't realize that you owe taxes. You owe a manager, an agent, your lawyer, your business manager. You owe percentage to whoever does your hair, your makeup, your clothes. Like none of that is free. Right. And by the time you get your check, you're like, okay, what do I do? It's not all glam, and it's just a perception.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think is the biggest misconception of being in the industry?
I think one of the biggest misconceptions is that you'll just get here and be famous. You know, that it doesn't take the work that it does, because it really, really does. And I think it is what we just talked about. I think it is the money. I think people think that, oh, if I book one job, I'm famous and I'm rich, and that's not the case. Yeah. It's terrifying. It really is. Like, you'll work really a lot one year, and then the next year, like, okay, if I just save this money, if I take it from my savings or my pension and put it in my regular account, am I gonna be okay? Like, it's terrifying. It really is. Yeah. And now I have a kid. Yeah. So it's like, okay,
How has motherhood changed your outlook in life?
It's changed everything, but also I realized what's important and what's not. It takes a lot for me to leave my house to do anything that doesn't involve her. Like, I just don't care. Like, people are like, come to this premiere or come to, Puerto Rico for 3 days. I'm like, I'm not taking my 6-month-old, so no.
Yeah.
Like, it's, even if it's like an opportunity, it's like, it's hard for me to cave on that. Like, she is everything. I don't want to miss a moment. I just shot a short film and she like almost crawled and I missed it. And I was like, oh, I would have lost my mind if I missed that. So it's just, I everything I do is for her. My dreams have changed. I think that like before I was very like goal oriented and I want to do this and I want to master this and I want to be this huge star or whatever. But really, I just want to be successful so that she can have everything she's ever wanted.
Wow.
It's changed.
Wow. What do you think she's taught you?
Patience. That sleep is a luxury.
Yeah.
She's taught me what love is. 100%.
Wow.
No shade to my husband. I do love him very much. But there's something about like looking at her face where I think he would say the same. It's just this, there's nothing I wouldn't do for her.
Yeah.
There's no one I wouldn't kill for her. There's nothing I wouldn't do to not protect her. Like, she is everything. She's the reason I'm here.
Is she crawling now?
She's scooting. She's like popping her butt out and like pulling, but she like keeps her head down when she's doing it. And she's only 6 months old, so it's still pretty early for her to do that. She was a really early roller. I could talk about her all day.
Yeah.
No, she's.
Oh no, the pictures are coming, right?
I know, right? I used to just have pictures like selfies of me. Like, I was looking good today, so I'm gonna have 1,800 pictures of this. Like, just always doing the same face, like 100 million. But now that it's her, it's only pictures of her.
Yeah.
I have deleted every picture of me. Like, if it's a picture of me, I've already deleted it, like, just so I can make room for more pictures of her.
Right.
I have I'm stealing this from another comedian. I don't know who it is, but I have more pictures of my daughter on my phone than my father's ever looked at me. If that makes any sense. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah. So you have family, you have, I know that was, huge. I mean, for anyone really, to be in the industry and in the entertainment industry and have a family. Did you feel like that prior to? Did you feel that was going to make things, difficult? Yeah.
Oh yeah, I knew that so I'm currently in development for my own projects, right? And we were pitching them at the time that I found out I was pregnant. And I was like, oh no, if they find out that I'm pregnant, I won't be able to work these dates. Are they going to say no to me? So I kept it hush hush for a really long time until that ink was signed because I was so nervous. And then it was like, okay, but once I have the baby, like, how am I going to juggle being at work and being with the baby? Because, we're Latino. I'm not letting anyone just take care of my kid. Like, that's just not going to happen. So how do I juggle? My husband's in the industry too. He's a set decorator. So nice. It's like, if one of us works, do both of us work? Like, how do we do this? And it's still terrifying to me. Like, it's still a juggle, but I think I was just more nervous that what roles am I going to get? Am I only going to get like mom roles, which is fine with me. I don't care. The jig is up. I'm not a teenager, but it was just kind of like, this industry is so harsh once they know certain things about you. And I just wanted to be able to play multiple things, and who knows what they're going to do.
I love how you embraced it all though, from announcing, your pregnancy to your baby to your getting married, and you were like, this is me, as opposed to trying to,
hide it. Or be like, oh my God, my quinceañera's next week. I promise. I just make it, because I can't be fake or phony. It's too much
it's too much work.
It's too much to keep up with. And I love who I am. And if other people don't, that's like whatever. And again, we talked about making our own room at the table. And it's like, if they're not going to pick me for this, I'm going to do it myself. Like, I'm a writer, I'm producing, I'm in development. Like, I'll do it on my own. I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But I just didn't want to hide that. My life is beautiful. Why would I hide that?
And you see that with like, actresses who started, were on a hit show, and then they're like, I can, Eva Longoria, Gina Rodriguez, Zoe Saldana. I mean, you see these hit shows, and then they themselves start, not just having a seat in the table, but creating their own table.
Absolutely. You have to.
And I think that's awesome that you're doing that now. What can you tell us about that?
Well, basically, things are still very early development, but it's the stories that I want to tell. There's a very like autobiographical, I would say, just kind of like how I got here. But I think one of the reasons they do that is because they do want to hear those stories told more organically and tell the stories that they want to see.
Yeah.
And that's really important to me. Also showing all the different shades of Latino and like who we are, but just knowing that that's not 100% of what we are. That's not our complete story. And that's what I want to show. Like I want to show the story of my mom and how she got here. Like there are just so many different stories that I want to tell that I feel like I'm in more of a place that people would listen to me. Before I don't think I was that confident. So just like, early development of certain things, working with some really incredible producers and getting things done,
There are films, documentaries, comedies, sitcoms, and what genre of that do you feel you want to attack first?
Well, I want to do a lot. I love shows. Comedies are really close to my heart. But again, when we were talking about comedies, I do feel like they do stem from drama. So I would love to see myself in like a 30-minute dramedy. But also, I feel like there needs to be a resurgence of the sitcom. It's tough now because a lot of people can't handle a laugh track. And I get it, especially on a streaming service. That's hard to swallow. But as a mom, that multicam schedule is Gucci. You work Monday through Thursday, you get home by 4:00, and then Friday you have a live show. So it's almost like you're doing theater. That's the best. It's the best schedule ever. And I love it. So I would love to kind of do that. But I also miss film. There's something so beautiful and the family that you build on a film, and you're only there for like a month or 2 months, or you do a short film, you're there for 4 days. That kind of camaraderie, I love that too. So I want to do it all. And I also want to direct. I feel like one of the reasons I'm a good actor is because I think like a director. Like I'm very aware of where the camera is or like what I'm supposed to be doing. And I don't only think of myself as an actor, which is very difficult and rare for actors, I hear. But it's something that I love. And I feel like I've seen Gina direct, like I've had the opportunity to be directed by Gina. And it's just very inspiring to see, Latinas in those positions. And I want to be one of them.
Yeah. And young Latinas too.
Yeah.
Which I
she's
think
probably younger than me. Don't look that up, but she's probably younger than me.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
But she's still young.
Yeah, she's very young.
Shouts to
her quinceañera's also next week.
Yeah. Awesome. I'm gonna crash both. I used to crash quinceañeras when I was a teenager.
How rude.
Rude.
Did you like find out their color scheme ahead of time and like dress?
I mean, I wasn't like a chambelán.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
I would just like crash the party,
and be like oh, I'm Tio Tony.
I'm Primo Tony.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. No, why was that in the Italian accent? I'm Primo Tony.
I sometimes I speak Spanish in an Italian accent.
No,
it's really
me.
Not good. No, but I do for real. That's like a true confession. It's not good.
I would crash quinceañeras because I used to love dancing salsa.
But you could do that and be invited or like ask them and they might let you in.
But it was like, hey, so-and-so's cousins having a quinceañera. And then my friends and I would just like show up and we just like dance salsa at all the local quinceañeras here in LA.
That's like a really weird flex. Like, I don't know how I feel about that.
That was cool.
That was a cool thing to do?
That was a cool thing to do. Right, guys?
How many quinceañeras did you all crash? Like, I have questions. Did you bring a gift at least?
See, at 15, around that time, you can't go to like clubs.
You didn't answer my question.
Wait, what was your question?
You didn't bring a gift?
No. I didn't know the quinceañera herself.
Hey, gift cards are international. Like,
yeah, I mean, gift cards weren't that popular then,
You know what's not less popular? Going to a quinceañera without a gift.
They had no clue. I was just having a good time dancing.
Wow.
What wrong?
I shouldn't have come today.
What wrong does dancing do, Jess? All right. Well, did you have a quinceañera?
Of course I did.
Yeah. How was your quinceañera?
It was
Lit?
the most untraditional quinceañera ever. I had a short dress. It was sparkly, but I did have a crown. I had really bad blonde highlights and purple contacts. It was a look. But I had like the last dance party that everyone was like cool with having. So we like, this is in Orlando. Mind you, I'm like the sole Mexican in Orlando at the time. So it was just like we rented out like I don't know, like an area, and it was just a bunch of friends that came and we did a dance party. It was nothing traditional about my quince. Like I really hope that Selena wants a traditional quince because I want to live vicariously through her. You can crash her quince if you want, but you got to bring a gift because
Listen,
that's some BS.
My quinceañera crashing days are behind me.
Okay, maybe you'll be invited.
That I would go. I'll bring a gift
Okay,
and not a gift card.
it's something. Jesus, I brought myself.
Tell me more about the purple contacts.
I wanted to be Elizabeth Taylor. Don't laugh at me. It was a vibe. And it was like this 2000, so it had like sparkly eyeshadow.
It was a vibe.
It was a vibe. It was, I think I just wanted to be something else. Like I just wanted to be like more interesting. So I had like purple contacts, I had green contacts, but my green contacts were somebody else's contacts with a prescription.
Wow.
Really messed up my eyes. I do not recommend you do that.
I want to see pictures there.
Oh, I have them. I will show
Yeah.
them to you. It was, and I had like the chunky Kelly Clarkson American Idol blonde highlights.
Yep.
Never again. Never again. It was a time. But yeah,
I want to talk about. We just had Rome.
not my quince.
Let's talk about your Sweet
You had
16.
Rome?
We had Rome on the show.
I know. I saw pictures. I love Rome.
And you guys worked together.
We did.
How was that working on that show? How to Get Away with Murder?
Yes.
Yes.
That was the coolest time ever because I mean I've been a Viola fan since Viola has been on television. Like she's just a powerhouse. And they tell you never meet your heroes, right? So I was terrified. I was like, if she's like not nice, like what am I gonna do with myself? Like I'm gonna be like terrified. And we were waiting to get on set and the PA was like, oh, we're just gonna wait for Viola. I was like, wait, what? We're gonna walk together.
Yeah.
She's gonna be cool with walking with like some new person that no one knows. And she is everything you want her to be and more. Like she's the most incredible human. And actually, besides that, Rome and I hit it off right away. And I used to always give him all of the mess because he would be like, oh, I don't know if we're gonna wrap in time, and I'm gonna miss a workout, and like my trainer's gonna be like mad, and like, oh, I gotta work out and work out today. And I was like, oh no. I was like, oh my God, I'm so sad for you. Like that's horrible. I used to always give him that because like I was like, you're so fit. Really, you're gonna miss a workout and what, die? Like he was so much fun, and he used to hate me because I used to always get Post Malone songs in his head. Always. And he would get so mad. I remember what the song was. You probably think that you are better now. I used to always do that, and he used to be like, he used to get so mad at me, but we had such a good time. But to go to a darker place, it was really tough for me because I was on that show and I was about 8 weeks before my wedding and my mom had a major heart attack.
Wow.
And I had to say no to one of the biggest episodes that I would have had with Viola.
Wow.
Like we were supposed to have a whole argument. It was going to be like incredible. And then this happened. And I said no to the episode because I was like, I got to be with my mom. Like there's not an option. And I thought they were going to write me off the show. Like they didn't owe me anything. And they ended up like working things out, bringing me back. Like they were asking how I was doing. Like they were incredible.
Wow.
But it was really, really tough.
That's so did they write it around that?
They had to keep that scene with another actor because
Got
they
it.
needed to get that specific scene, but they didn't write my character off. Like I came back and like I ended up not. I was supposed to do more and couldn't because I was doing On My Block, like at the same time.
Wow.
And On My Block was like, no, they're my first position. Like I have to do the show, but I was like, I want to do it.
Yeah.
So I was like 15 and then a paralegal at the same time. It was very interesting. Hollywood.
I remember watching you in that show.
I was so sassy. I was so mean. I loved it.
You did great. You did
Thank you.
amazing on
Thank
that.
you.
On that.
For my these were my
series.
lines. No. Absolutely. Why? Like, those are my lines. I'm so glad that you thought I did great.
You did. I mean, your presence was felt.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that.
And I'm not just saying that because, you're in front of me and you look amazing today.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I paid him to say that.
You're telling me like you appreciate when someone compliments you. So
I love compliments.
I'm picking up on that.
It's my favorite thing in the world.
I hope I'm doing well.
I'm always like, no, please.
No, stop. More. This year now in 2022, and for let's say the next coming year, where do you see yourself, and what do you see yourself doing?
Ooh.
More of.
I want to do more film. I just finished a short film with Annie Gonzalez, and hopefully we'll be able to make that a feature.
Amazing.
Yes, I am.
What film is that? Can you tell us?
It's called Illegally Brown.
Amazing.
It's fantastic. It's directed and written by Gabby Luogo, and she's insane. I don't know if you've ever looked at her work. She's amazing. And it was just the best 2 days of our life. Like Annie and I have known each other for a minute, but we've only kind of like interacted a little bit. Yeah. And then being on set, we were like sisters. Yeah. Automatically. I've never felt that kind of like chemistry with somebody right off the bat. And her and I just hit it off, and it came out really great. So I'm really hopeful that it turns out to be a full feature. And we play sisters, so that's helpful. And then there's another short film that I can't talk about yet, but I will be doing that soon. And hopefully a second season of Batman Unburied for Spotify.
Amazing.
And I would like to get to another place with the projects that I'm developing, where just like one step away from it being like a legitimate thing. So hopefully all of the things.
I love that.
Is that enough? I'm raising a human. I might start a garden. No, I'm not. I'm really bad at gardening.
You don't have a green thumb?
I don't.
You can grow into it.
Why?
You see all these plants behind me?
They're beautiful. Are they real?
Yes.
They're real?
Yeah.
They don't look real.
Yeah, they're real.
Are they real?
Guys.
They are? You water them?
They can I water them.
You water them. They're in pebbles.
Yeah.
There's grass.
There's soil under that. So I say that because I would kill every single plant that would step into this room.
Until you hired somebody?
No, and then I just learned how to take care of them and be a good plant dad.
But that's like you prepping to be a dad, maybe.
Maybe.
I went straight to the actual human.
So if you can take care of an actual human, then you'll be fine with a plant. No?
No. No. I just let other people be better at that than me. Do you
you have space for maybe like a little garden?
I do, but the house that we're at right now is like pebbles. And it's like not green. Like I want that's another thing I want to do in the next year. I want to move, but not downtown.
Come to downtown.
I'm not coming to downtown. I would like a lawn and like a fence and a parking space. This doesn't have any of that.
You mean you don't like to just drive around for 15 minutes looking for parking?
No, and
it's so much fun. You like big rigs just showing up randomly in the middle of the night?
No, that's okay.
Okay.
That's okay.
All right,
I also like to like drive away from where I work. You know what I mean? A lot of the things we do is downtown or in Hollywood. I like to like get away from it. It's balance. It's all about balance.
It is about balance. It's about peace of mind.
Yeah.
It's about having a good, healthy mental health.
Working on that. Yeah.
What do you do to take care of your mental health? I
used to smoke weed. Not anymore. I'm breastfeeding. I'm a mom, so I guess I've had to tame that down a little bit. I meditate. I pray. I'm a very spiritual person, and I write. Those are probably my main things. I probably should do more, like see a therapist, but I haven't done that yet. I know I need to, but I feel like I know everything that's wrong with me, which is probably not smart. But
I started doing therapy in the middle of the pandemic.
That's probably the perfect time to do that too.
And I mean, it's never too late.
No, right? I will. I need it.
I think it's helped me immensely with a lot of things. And like you said, I mean, even if you're aware of what you can improve on, or what where certain things stem from, I think that's
My father, I get it. Hence the weed. But no.
I think that'll be very, helpful. We always talk about it on the show.
Yeah.
Because we feel it's important for, people like us that are in front and that have platform, that are in front of a camera, who people know and follow, to talk about it.
Absolutely. Especially in our culture, because it's so not talked about.
Yep. I think it's I grew up in a traditional Mexican household, and I remember just hearing, no, I'm not crazy, no estoy loco, I don't need that. So honestly, that was sort of instilled in me. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, yeah, well, I'm not crazy, so why should I do therapy? But then, as you grow up and you figure life out, and you're like, hey, this is the move. And it was the move, and it continues to. I do it once a week.
That's great.
And I think it's a beautiful thing that just to get to know yourself, better. I'm all about self-improvement.
Absolutely. And we take care of everything else.
So, that kind of goes hand in hand.
Absolutely.
I want to talk about how you have been blowing up on TikTok.
Me and my 4.2 million followers? No.
Yeah. How is that? How did that come about? How'd you start TikToking?
To be honest with you, like I was so against TikTok for so long. And then people would send me TikToks and I would just find myself like obsessed with watching different TikToks. It's like, I could be doing this forever. Like, this is like, until you get to that one that's like, hey, stop scrolling. You've been scrolling for too long. And I'm like, nah. And I just like keep going. But my husband loves TikTok. I think our entire text threads are just TikToks we've sent each other. Like, we don't even talk anymore. I'm like, you're in the next room. Why are you sending me this? So then I was like, I wouldn't mind making some. I have so many like BTS videos of on my block. Yeah. So I started doing that. And then it was so funny because like all my comments are like, wait, isn't that Jasmine? Or no, she's on Liv and Maddie. No, she's Jasmine. No, she's like, just like the comments were so funny. And I was like, I can get into this. But I was like, am I too old for those? Is there like a 30s TikTok? And like there is. There's a TikTok for everything. Yeah. Like there's like an entire like hype house for like seniors that are like in their 60s. It's brilliant. It's amazing. So I just kind of, I think in the industry and as like a filmmaker, you can kind of play around. Yeah. And I think that's why this generation specifically is so lucky, because if they want to get into it, like pick up your phone, go do a TikTok, like do an Instagram, like you can make things happen for yourself. Yeah. And that, like, I wish we had that. Actually, I don't, because my eyebrows were horrible when I was that age and I would never want that seen by millions of people. Yeah. But other than that, it's really smart. Your eyebrows look great now. Thank you. I was fishing. See? Add that to the compliment list of the day. Mm. I think it's such a. We were just talking about that with a group of friends yesterday. How TikTok has changed the game. Yeah. I mean, Instagram did, right, and then now Instagram's trying to catch up. Yeah. And then now TikTok is sort of giving opportunities to a lot of people. I've gotten them, and I feel like on top of your craft, now you have like this other. Hashtag paid partnership. Yeah. Oh man, that's the best. That's the move. Oh yeah. I will use your lotion. I will use your body scrub. Give it to me. I will make a video about it. Yeah. I got no shame. Yeah, and your TikTok now. Do you feel like it's a job at times to create content? I do and I don't. I think it's important to stay relevant. Yeah. I don't feel the same pressures I think that maybe somebody younger does. I think because it's still based on like how much I care and on a daily basis. I literally make them for fun. It blew up and I've been approached by like companies and stuff. And if I like the company or whatever, I will absolutely do it. Yeah. But I still make them for fun. If there's a trend I really like I'll jump on it. I love being self-deprecating, which is probably something I should talk to a therapist about. But like, I love that kind of thing. So I like TikTok for that reason. I was making a ton of TikToks about Selena, and then I like circled back because I watched a TikTok about how you shouldn't post about your kid that much. And I was like, oh my God, you're right. So like I stopped doing that. I learned a lot from TikTok, but I have fun with it. I try not to take it too seriously. I try not to take too many things too seriously.
You don't feel pressured to create content on TikTok.
Only to maybe stay relevant
Yeah.
if you're not working.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I would say I don't feel pressure to make content. I feel pressure to make content that's going to go viral or going to get a lot of likes. And I think that I've struggled with that with Instagram. I'm like, I don't know what like the cool like picture like vibe or aesthetic is, because I don't really have an aesthetic. Because again, for me, it's like all about being organic. And like I see people that are like, my entire aesthetic is just gray marble and that is it. And I'm not that girl. Like I just am not into that. Like I like a lot of different things and I like posting about different things. I don't want to have to think about that. So that's the only thing, is kind of like the society looking in and going, oh, but that didn't get as many likes as my last one did. Am I a failure? I hate that this generation has to think like that. Or like, how many followers do you have? Because that's your value in life.
Right.
But
do you feel like that helps you in your like having a big following on social platforms? That helps you with your career?
I wanted it to. I wanted it to kind of give me a leg up. Like, oh, like if you're doing this movie, well, I have all these like followers. Does that help? Because I've had friends that have gone on auditions and they've asked their social media following. I've never had anybody ask me that, but I've been ready to give that answer if that was going to help or give me anything. But it really hasn't. I think if for the most part, it's helped with brand deals, but not with roles. No, unless it's something behind the scenes and I didn't know about it. You
know, you kind of went viral with your Jennifer Lopez tweet the other day.
I know. Oh my God, I hope she doesn't hate me.
So for those that don't know, you want to break it down for us?
J-Lo, don't hate me. It was just a joke. I love you so much. You're like everything to me. So she's on her honeymoon, and her beautiful honeymoon, her beautiful family, and she's everything. She took a picture with her Birkin, her red alligator Birkin, on the ground. And like, if I thought it was a Latino thing, but apparently it's like every immigrant thing. If you don't put your purse on the ground, because it's bad luck. Like the devil will come and take your money. Yeah. And I had said, like, did this trigger any other Latina? And I got a lot of responses. And I was even thinking, I was like, she'll never see this and like hate me secretly. I don't know if she saw it, but it got reposted a lot of times on different like Latino outlets that I'm sure she follows. And now she hates me. But yeah, no, it went pretty big. But it's true, you know, and I found out that, you know, a lot of cultures feel that way. You don't put your purse on the floor. Yeah. I just wanted someone to Photoshop like a little table and put it on the table. And like Ben was taking a picture. He couldn't hold your purse. Right? It was a quick little... You don't know that. The moment. You don't know that. You don't know how long it was. It looked like it from a picture. You knew how long the purse was on the floor. There was no dust on the purse, so I'm sure it was only there for a second. Yeah. It was a quick. Don't do that to me. She's gonna hate me. That was hilarious, and no, I think that's super awesome that your comedy, your brand, your personality is expressed through your social media pages, and that people, you know, are loving you on social as much as they do on the big screen. And it means a lot to me. I also like to communicate with my fans that way. Because I've seen like how one like to something they say, how much that'll make somebody's day. Oh yeah. And that means everything to me. Because again, I'm only here because of them. So I people always act like if you get a check mark or if you have 1 million followers, you don't see things and you don't see tweets and comments and I'm too big for this. I will never be too big for that. I feel like it's like people are so weird. I love that. You know, I'm too cool for school and I'm like, nah, you wake up every day, you go to sleep, you like, you know what I mean? I was going to get vulgar, but I won't because I care for you. Thank you. But it's like, we're all human. Thank you, Fred. But we're all our editing team, Fred. I'm thinking about you, Fred. Thanks you. But it's true. It's like, we're all human. And it's like, I know what it's like to be that fan and what that would do for me if somebody that I cared for or looked up to, like something I said. Yeah. What if J-Lo liked that tweet? I would die because I would think it was like passive aggressive. Right? Because I do that too. If someone gives me like a mean tweet, I'm like, oh, I liked it. Loved it. And she's like, we'll never work with you. I'm like, no. She's only liking it to like, yeah, maybe. To save. She liked something I tweeted a few years ago, but it was because I like called her out and said like, you know, I love you. Maybe she'll remember that. Yeah. No. You know what? Before we go into this next phase here,
there's been a lot of times when our guests here talk about working with someone or being on a film or being on different things, and it's happened.
Really?
Hey, I want to collaborate with Rihanna. Hey, I want to, and it's happened. So just putting it out there.
J-Lo, Jaka. Let's make it happen. Simpático.
Simpatico.
I gave it a good accent, and you had to like make it. Doing my best here.
See, my reference was Justin Timberlake in Bad Teacher. Have you seen that movie?
Nobody quotes that movie. I just need you to know you are the only person that's quoting that movie.
It was.
Oh my God.
It was on the other day.
Oh my, so you felt the need to quote it?
I was working.
Nobody who worked on that movie is quoting that movie.
I was working.
Wow.
I just happened to have the TV on. Justin Timberlake was singing a song called Simpatico.
Wow.
And it just stuck to my head.
You're like, you remind me of my mom who went to say Owen Wilson. She goes, the guy from Shanghai Nights. I go, Owen Wilson has been in so many things. You're going to say the guy from Shanghai Nights. Not Shanghai Moon even.
Yeah.
The sequel. Y'all are a mess.
Hey, listen. Multifaceted Justin Timberlake.
Oh, I thought you were going to say me. Sure, we can talk about Justin Timberlake.
All right, so are you ready? Are you ready for rapid fire
Oh, no.
with Jessica Marie?
Okay, let's do it. Can I plead the fifth on everything?
$1 million or 1 million followers additional.
$1 million.
Okay,
I want 1 million followers?
maybe.
Do I get $1 for every follower?
I mean, maybe more brand deals?
I mean, no.
No?
I could get $1 million or more work. That's weird. I just think like followers is just such a weird thing to say.
Okay. Final answer?
Yeah, but like, does something happen to me? Are you doing like a thing that makes me a narcissist or something if I say $1 million over 1 million followers?
No.
Okay, this scares me.
Your seat will, it's an ejector seat if you answer wrong. Favorite Spanish word?
Coño.
Coño. Salsa or merengue?
Salsa.
Greatest rapper of all time?
Oh God, that's. I was gonna say something that no one's gonna agree with.
Justin Timberlake?
No, stop with your love with Justin Timberlake. You can quote
JT forever.
You
okay?
can.
Listen.
No, I was actually gonna say something funny. I was like, well, I used to really, really love him. I used to be a really big Ludacris fan.
Luda.
But I'm not gonna say he's my favorite rapper. Maybe he is. Yeah, I'm gonna do something different and younger. I'm gonna say J. Cole.
J. Cole. Nice. Favorite singer of all time?
Selena.
By the way, I think that's really cute
Thank
that
you.
you name your daughter that.
Thank you. I actually got permission from Suzette too.
Wow.
Well, not permission. I told her afterwards, but she was really like, she gave a blessing.
That's beautiful. Favorite piece of tech that you currently use?
Of tech.
Phone, computer.
I mean, probably my phone. That's not a very good answer, but my phone.
Yeah.
I don't have like a Switch or something. Or like an iPad. I'm old.
Game Boy?
I used to have, I loved my Game Boy. That block though with the green screen where you could play Wario. That was my everything.
So your phone.
And Tetris. Yeah.
I like that.
Do you? Is that really a very original answer? I wish I had something to
It's
tell
a
you.
common one.
Yeah, because what tech do you have? A phone, a computer, like what else is what are people saying?
Air fryer?
That's tech? I'm
Believe
thinking
it or
in,
not, someone did say that once.
really?
Yes.
I would say
was
more
like,
things like that, but I think tech has like something
Yeah.
with like a screen on it.
Yeah. You're right.
Thank you.
You got that
You don't
answer
say
right.
that enough,
Men don't say that enough, right?
right?
What's a nickname of yours that no one really knows about?
No one really knows about. I will say I don't like being called Jessie. That's like I'm a Jess, I'm not Jessie. And the only people allowed to say that are my mom, pretty much. She's the only one that gets it, but then it's Yesi, you know. That's pretty much. My mom calls me, or she calls me Lady J.
Lady J.
That's really it. I'm always Jess or Jessica. Not too many people give me nicknames.
Lady J.
I'm going to find one on the way home and be like, I should have said that. People call me that.
Where does Lady J stem from?
I have no idea. She's just always called me Lady J.
Your rapper days?
Yes, because I might be a horrible singer, but my rap ability.
But you got bars.
No, it's like me and Jadena, like we're like just like chilling, rapping to each other. No.
Well, Lady J, I want to thank you for coming
No, it's over.
to Mando and Friends. But you're invited here anytime.
Thank you.
I appreciate you so much. I know that you've done a lot in your career already, and I know that you're only starting. You've just scratched the surface. Yeah, I wish you a lot of continued success.
Thank you.
And lots of love and wealth for you and your family and your little Selena.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. This was amazing.
Thank you.
And congratulations to you and all of you. Season 3, that's amazing.
Season 3.
That's a big deal.
Thank you. Yeah, for sure. I really mean that. You're welcome here anytime. And we gotta grab some food sometime and hang out.
Break into some quinceañeras together.
Hey.
Whatever.
No.
I will never let that go. You were not invited. That is so messed up.
That was cool. Okay. We had an unofficial dancing salsa crew.
You need to write a wedding crashers, but a quinceañera crasher. You need to write that. Make that happen.
I love that.
Because that's hilarious.
I love that.
You heard it here first, folks.
Exclusive.
J-Lo is not producing it though.
Thank you so much. Jessica Marie Garcia. Make some noise for her, everybody. Thank you. And thank you so much for watching and listening to Mando and Friends Season 3, presented by Verizon.